Welcome to the 2.0 Grandma Podcast, a space created by a grandma for grandmas and all about grandmas. Our mission is clear: to empower and support grandmas as they redefine, realign, and redesign their lives.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing great, Marcia.
I'm so excited to meet you. Oh my God.
Yes, thank you so much for reaching out.
Not a problem at all. And I was just signed into the wrong meeting. I have a list of so I was like, and then when it kept popped up on my laptop, on my iPad, I'm like, well, I don't see her on here. And then I
Yeah.
realized I had to go back out and get into another meeting.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, I just
Technology.
laugh at myself, girl, okay?
Yeah.
I have the most fun
Oh my
about
God.
me. Yeah, I laugh and laugh and laugh at myself.
That's all we can do, right?
That's all we can do, exactly. That way we're not judging other people,
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yes.
So I
Love
am
it.
excited that you are on with me today. I'm so excited. I'm excited for myself because it is such a pleasure to meet you. And after I read some of your story, I'm like, oh my God, yes. I definitely need to talk with her. Yes. And
Oh my gosh.
I
Well, I'm
think
honored. Thank you so much for having me.
oh, you're welcome. I can't wait for people to hear about who you are, what you've done, and what you will, what you're planning for the future, because I'm sure you got big plans. I'm sure you got big plans. So I want to hear about all that. And of course, I want to hear about grandchildren, children,
Yeah.
anybody else you want to tell.
Okay, so I'm not actually a grandma.
Oh, you're
I
not?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any. I have one son, and
Uh-huh.
every time I say, "When am I going to be a grandma?" He's like, "Mom, please."
So you're a future grandma. I call
I'm
them
a future
honorary
grandma.
grandmas, right?
Yes, I'm auntie grandma, and there are young children of people I've met here, and I am trying to insert myself as
Right.
the honorary grandma. I said, okay, come to grandma.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And they're like, wait a minute, you don't look like, because this is what people told me, you don't look like a grandma. You don't act like a grandma. I'm like, so what does
Isn't
a
that
grandma look
something?
like and act like, right?
Yes. What does that look like? What does that look like?
Right. So I
Gosh.
always say that grandmas 2.0, we are changing the narrative on what grandmas look like, what society believes grandmas are, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yeah.
what they believe or what they choose to believe and what we really are, two totally different things.
And two totally different things. I know. Oh my gosh. And it's funny here because as I'm meeting people and maybe a little bit more of a conservative culture and think, well, okay, maybe the way I am isn't really jiving with this. And another woman I met here who's much younger said, yeah, you're not the one who's going to sit around sipping Earl Grey and talking about children's dresses.
Right.
This is not you. These are not your people. So you need to
Right.
find your people.
I don't know who said this, but it's like, and it's no disrespect to the Native American population, but it said, I need to find my tribe because my
Right.
tribe is out there, right?
Yes. And it's so important, Marcia. It's so important. And I think it was on Instagram, a meme, and it said, you will be too much for some people. Those are not your people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And you need to know when, you need to know who those people are first, and then you need to know when you need to just kind of ease out,
Yeah, to
transition yourself.
release. Some people need to be released.
Yes,
And
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So I just want to say that I love what I read about you. I love your platform, and I call it platform. You may not call it that, but the
Thank
one
you.
about give yourself permission to
Yes.
live the life
Yes.
that you want, that you love. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that takes so much courage. Because that's what I really, to me, that's the meat of the conversation for us today. We'll go through, who you are and all that. But to me,
Mhm.
that is the meat of who you are and how did you come to that realization and when? What led you there?
Yes,
Because
yes,
as women, we tend to be people pleasers. We have to please our spouses, we have to please our children, we have to please people at work, we have to please everybody.
yes,
And we
yes.
come last
Please
on the
and take
totem pole.
care of.
Yes, yeah, and that's encompassed. When I say yeah, that's encompassed in there. It's like taking care of
Yes,
everybody else, and we're last. And so I'm at a point in my life, and that's why I call it the 2.0 version, is that I'm taking care of me first, and the rest of you
yeah,
people get in line, right? And
yeah,
if I want
yeah.
to, I will, and if I don't, I'm
That's
not.
right. Well, I know that's right. We're the airplane grannies. You know how
Yes,
you're on the airplane and they say when the mask drops down, put your own mask on first.
yes, yes.
So,
First, not second, but first, right? So that's the generation and of grandmas that I'm talking about. And there's still a lot out there that believe in the traditional sense, and that's fine. I don't
yes,
judge anybody, but don't judge me for wanting to have a little fun in my life and do the things that I
right,
want to, giving myself
right.
permission to do the things I love. So I love, 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 love that. But let's back up a little bit because we've jumped
Okay.
right in. So let's talk about you, who you are, how you got here, because I read something about you standing with the President of the United States being the teacher, the national teacher
Uh,
of the
it
wow.
was a national state teacher. So I represented
Ah.
Ohio. I represented Ohio.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
fine too. But I thought, wow. So how do we go from being a teacher to traveling the world to, saying, okay, I'm giving myself permission to do whatever I want to do. Don't like it?
Right,
That's
right, right,
fine. Right?
right, right,
So how
right.
do we get there? So tell me
And
about that first, your
okay.
teaching
And
experience.
teaching was my second career. So I was in business, marketing and PR for 20 some years, 14 of which I had my own small company. And then I decided to go back to school to learn how young children learn to read after my son was diagnosed with dyslexia. And I
Mm,
wasn't planning on taking, a 60+% pay cut, but I
right.
just wanted to know. And then I went back, got another master's degree in a immersion 1-year program, and a district offered me a job. Like, oh, I
Wow.
mean, I wasn't really, no, I don't really actually want to go
Right.
teach
I
children. I just
was
wanted to
just
know.
playing. I was just playing.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just playing. Oh,
Right.
I'm just playing. I just wanted to get the knowledge. I didn't want to change my life. But
Hmm.
lo and behold, I accepted the offer
Why?
and I
Why
went,
did you accept it though?
I accepted it because something inside me felt like maybe
Mm,
this is what I need to do.
mm,
It's a school district that is like 100% of the kids qualify for free, lunch and
mm.
breakfast. It's
Okay.
predominantly minority,
Mm,
predominantly a population of kids who are struggling academically.
mm.
Um, and I thought, this feels like something important to do.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm gonna figure out how to make this work monetarily because
Right.
we were traveling and I would take clients out and I went to Paris and Amsterdam and we would do
Wow.
this and do that. We had your little martini lunch back in the day. Like remember what's the Mad Men?
Uh-huh.
It
Uh-huh.
wasn't that era, but that
Uh-huh.
was still happening.
Yes.
PR,
Yes.
advertising, marketing,
Yes.
there was a
Before
lot
social
of
media kind of sort of. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Before it
So
became
it
as
was
powerful as it is now.
yeah, yes.
Mhm.
So I thought, I don't know. But then I said, you know what? It feels like this is right. I don't know what it is. It feels like maybe this is going to be more fulfilling than what I've been doing for 14 years. So I said, okay. And I did that for 14 years. So I have this 14-year thing going on. And
Right.
and after I had been teaching for 4 years, so I started teaching at 46. And my principal nominated me for this Ohio Teacher of the Year thing. And I have to say,
Yeah.
Marcia, that every teacher I know is deserving of that award. You just need to have somebody that's recognizing you and lifting you up. And my only thing is that stands out is that I had a principal that took the time to do that. But there are
Yeah.
so many more deserving teachers than I, but there was just nobody that was looking. They didn't have that kind of principal. So, so I did, but I need to say that because it felt, I mean, I was a good teacher. And I worked very hard, but there are so many. And I just think in America, they don't realize how hard of a job that is. So anyway, next thing I knew, I was standing in the Oval Office of the White House next to President Obama.
Oh, I thought that's who it was. Oh my God. Yes, yes. Of all presidents.
Can I just smell you? Wait. Okay. And we had to line, every teacher got their own moment with him.
Oh, wow.
And they lined us up, girl, by height. I was like, really? I could never get away with it. And was tallest last.
Yes.
So I had on my heels, so I'm about 6'1" with heels on. So I had all this stuff in my mind that I was going to say. And I finally, as the last teacher in there, I walked in and I was just like, it's the Oval Office. And some teachers fainted. I mean, it was just so
right. Now, nobody would have ridiculed you if you fainted.
Right. And girl, I forgot everything that I had wanted to say, and all I could say was, "Hello, Mr. President. I guess I'm the tallest teacher in the land." Oh my God. Oh, I could just kick myself still just telling that story.
So that was what we call
like, hey, that's okay.
That's what we call a Steve Harvey moment. Yeah. Remember Steve Harvey messed up? Right.
Yes. And the winner is
right.
Oh my gosh! But he was so gracious, and I had sneaked a book in. My students had written a book of advice for him and illustrated it. And we were not supposed to bring anything in, and I'm like, I'm bringing it. And so I told him that. I said I broke the rules. And I sneaked this in. He said, "Well, we better take 2 pictures then. One with the book and one, and then the official without." And so it was just such a moment.
Wow, nice and sweet of him. Just like I imagined he would be. Right?
Yes. And then I was like, "Where's Michelle?" No, I just
right.
Michelle, I really want to meet. Is she here? Anyway, so that's a once in a lifetime thing you never forget. And so I continued on, and that was 2009, 2010. It was a 2-year commitment.
Right.
And I met so many wonderful educators. It was just very humbling. And then fast forward to 2018, and as is the case, I think with change and many women, change is precipitated by loss. And in that year, my father died, and a long-term relationship with my fiance ended. And it's just, this is something has to change. I'm not happy. And I took a trip to New Orleans for Christmas. So this is December 2018. And I'm just thinking, what do I want to do? How am I going to enter into 2019? Because I'm not happy. And while I was in New Orleans, I met 3 women. So you talk about serendipity. I meet 3 women. One was a retired music teacher. And she told me, I met her at the bar at the hotel, and she told me how, I retired. I just retired early because I was just ready. I was done. And I started selling furniture. Now, I'm not talking about at a little furniture store. This is high-end Herman Miller type furniture. And she said, and I love it. And I met him, and she had her little boyfriend next to her. And she was just going on and on and on. She goes, here, let me give you my information because you would be great. Just the way I can tell by the way you are, you'd be great. You should get into sales. So I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't think so. But that was very interesting. I meet this woman. Then, and don't judge me because I met another woman on a different day, also at the bar. And they had a happy hour that was pretty good. And this was a younger woman, single mom from Chicago. She said her passion was representing blues and jazz groups. And she launched a dog walking business in Chicago to help fund her lifestyle so she could do her passion. So she was in New Orleans with this group that she, was repping. So I'm like,
Wow.
that's interesting. And then the third woman I met was a current teacher living in Brooklyn. I met her at a jazz club. There was no place to sit. She had a table by herself. I'm like, hi, I'm Natalie. Can I sit down? Sure. We started talking, kind of find out she wants to be a writer. And she would like to quit her job teaching preschool, I believe it was, to write full time. And to help her do that, she rents out her Brooklyn apartment on Airbnb. She said, I'm here because I rented out, my place for like $400 a night or something. So I'm here. And so change, 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 change. It's so interesting. And then the last day I went to a glass blowing studio and they were selling work. And my eye went right to this hand blown fortune cookie on a silk cord. It was a necklace. And inside was written, follow your heart. So I bought it.
Wow.
And I got on the plane and took out some paper and I just wrote out, how can I retire now at 59? How can I be done? How can I retire and make this work? And met with my planner. When I got back, I had some numbers down, and that was my first glimpse at what self-permission looked like.
Right. Wow.
And I said, well, I'm retired. I'm going to retire. This was December 18th. I'm going to retire at the end of next school year. So that was June 2019. At 59, I did. And that was early. And so I was like, maybe let me see how I can make this really be comfortable. So I started reading about other countries where American retirees were living on just Social Security.
Yes.
And so
I've been
Portugal,
dreaming about them.
yes.
How do you do that? Oh my, that's another thing that attracted me to your profile. I was like, oh my God, I really need to hear how she did that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
well, and so it all, but that's it though. It started with loss, and then I got these pebbles of inspiration from these three, very different women, just serendipitously met, and then decided, okay, so I'm going to give myself permission to retire and do something else. And that made me start looking at other countries just from a financial standpoint. And then there was Portugal, at the top of the list. Like, oh yeah. And I always wanted to live on the ocean, but I don't want hurricanes and I don't want a tropical climate. And, I don't have $1 million to be buying some house on the water. So you know what? I think Portugal, it's got a temperate climate. The housing at the time in 2019 is really affordable. And people, well, you could live there for nothing. Okay. I think I need to go see Portugal
Yeah.
and check it out. And then that blew into, see, it's all these little steps. I didn't start out thinking this, but then I'm like,
Right.
okay, since I'm going, think, and I got a bonus. They gave you for a retirement bonus. If you retire, they're like, well, here's a little extra something for you to buy.
Mhm.
And like, I need a new driveway, but I think I'm gonna take that and go travel around the world instead. And so I planned my own first time solo trip, Portugal first to check it
Mhm.
out, and then Morocco, Egypt, Thailand,
Oh my God.
Indonesia, and Japan for 70 days in one carry-on bag. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And
Wow.
that was life-changing because I am a scaredy cat. And my friends would tell you, like, girl, you like the most scaredy cat, brave person that we know. Because like, I don't know, I don't like flying, I'm afraid of heights, I don't do this, I don't do, and I always travel with a man or friends. I mean, I didn't do that. And I planned this trip and it worked and nothing bad happened. I saw Portugal, I fell in love with it and decided this is where I'm going. I'm going to come here. And I got back and then right in December, right before Christmas when COVID was happening, but we didn't know it.
You didn't
But
know it,
it was
right?
happening. And then we found out real fast. And so
Right.
nothing really happened. And then in 2021, in Ohio, real estate was just insane. COVID was obviously still a thing, but it was becoming more under control and the housing market just exploded. And, I still needed that driveway because I spent the money to go travel. So I'm like, I need to fix this driveway. And a friend of mine said, you should put your house on the market and just see what happens. Because these houses are like, it's crazy how these houses are going. So I'm like, yeah, but nobody, I needed the driveway. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what you got to lose? What you got to
Right.
lose? So I put it on the market with an agent and I said, don't, it's not open though until Friday. This is like maybe a Tuesday or whatever. And I was like, just not till Friday. And then, make it live on Friday and then start taking uh, appointments for people to come see it.
Mhm.
It sold in 20 minutes. It was up on Friday. The very first couple that came in 20 minutes, like, okay, the offer.
Wow.
And it was a Friday, and the realtor's like, but we have 9 more people coming over the weekend. Like, you should wait
Right.
because they're going into bidding wars and da da da. You should wait. And I was like, no, no. I just do stuff with no. I had a feeling these are the people. These are the people. And
Wow.
let's do that.
Mhm.
Let's do that. And I really liked them.
Uh-huh.
And he was mad. He's like, oh man, we could have really. I'm like, no, let's do it. And it was easy and clean and they're delightful. Love the home. And then I was like, oh, dang. Now what am I going to do? 'Cause
Right. What am I gonna say?
what am I
Right.
going to do? And so that jump started my move. And that was 2021. I started researching and doing what I needed to do to get my visa. And
Mhm.
then I moved in 2022.
Wow. And you stayed in Portugal how long?
So I'm here now. I mean, I'm living
You're
here.
still there. You're there now. Oh my
I live here. I got my
God. Wow.
resident card. Yep, I am a resident of Portugal.
Oh, wow. That sounds so fabulous.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And it's so affordable. My living
Really?
expenses for everything are less than 2,000, well, 2,000 euro. So depending back in the day, that was like 1-to-1. Now that's probably about $2,200. $2,200
A
for
month?
everything, for housing, health insurance, food, everything,
Per
everything
month?
per month, 2,000, not even 2,000.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yes, that's
So
why I was on that list.
tell me about Portugal. Tell us about Portugal. What is it
So
like?
I did not want to live in Lisbon. So many, many, many of us are, it's Lisbon.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to live in a city. And Lisbon is very expensive. So you could triple that, what I just told you, to
Wow.
stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a small village, but I live right on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbors are Portuguese and Brazilian, not a lot of English
Mm-hmm.
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not have a car. And the realtor told me, you need a car to live here. Like, you can't live here without a car. I'm like, this is all online before I got here. No, I did a Google map thing, and it's what, 3 miles. I do a lot of walking anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
that'll be good. He's like, mm-mm. That you live up on a cliff and you got to go down. It's 3 miles, but you got to go down. You got to come back
But
up.
then
Like,
to
I
come
don't
back
know.
up is the bar. Right. Right.
So I found a grocery delivery. I was still in the
Right.
States. I'm like, okay, no, we're gonna make this work. I was in the United States and I set up my account for a grocery store here that delivers. And then
Mm.
they deliver. So I'm not pressed. I've made it work. It's been 15 months. Yeah,
Mm.
15 months. And the people here are wonderful. My neighbors have been amazing. My second day here, one of the neighbors came and said, well, I know you don't have internet. And she's Portuguese, has a home here, but
Mhm.
lives in California. She comes
Mm.
back here for her family and her mom and her son and everything, but she's in California. And so she's English speaking,
Mhm.
but not here year round. And she happened to be here when I arrived. And she said, I know you don't have internet yet. I'm getting ready to go. I left my door open. Here's my Wi-Fi password. Feel free. She just met me.
Wow.
She
In
just met me.
America, no one would do this. They're like,
No,
lock up everything because we don't know that lady. Right.
we don't know. No, never. And I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's like, what? So loving,
Mm.
so loving. Another woman I met who used to live here, she was visiting another resident, and she's like, "Oh, and she speaks English. She's from South Africa, but Portuguese by birth, her parents.
Mm.
She she's like, oh, I go, into the village and do shopping on Tuesdays. If you want, I can swing by and pick you up. And if
Mm.
you need to go, so I'm like, oh, okay. Just so many things fell into place that they were
Mm.
signs to me that I did the right
Yes,
thing.
that this is what was meant to be for you.
Was
Yeah.
meant to be.
That's fabulous. And what's more fabulous is that you gave yourself permission to do that.
I
Most
did.
people would say, well, so me, for example, when I read your profile, like I was saying, I was thinking, well, I got my grandkids here. I got, all the reasons why I shouldn't
Yeah.
do something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where most people start.
Right.
And so we talk ourselves out of it. So we don't start at giving ourselves permission to say
Right.
like, okay, now how can I make this work? That's a totally different perspective.
It is. It is. And it's not my default perspective. I mean, my default is to find all the reasons why something's not going to work. I mean, that was my first career was specialized in crisis communication. So it's like
Mm,
you're always thinking about all the bad things that can happen
mhm,
and
mhm,
preparing. And that's how I am with my life. It's like, okay, all this bad stuff could happen.
mhm,
And that voice that we have
mhm,
that that chatter in our head that is telling us, oh, this could happen. No, you can't do that. You better be careful. This is not good. That is my default. That is my default. And it's still, I'm not going to lie, it still pops up, but I have learned, I have managed it. And I read a quote. This is Dan Harris, I think, the guy who wrote the book 10% Happier. He has a podcast too, I think, 10% Happier. And he said, yeah, there came a time when I finally realized the voice in my head was an asshole. I'm like, yes.
They really don't want me to live my dreams, right?
Right. So I had to talk to that asshole in my head, like, no, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh, I love that. Oh, because the voice is you, right? So that's what's funny about it.
Yes. It's the voice is you.
Is a jerk, right?
Is a jerk. That's right. Don't listen. You're not having my best. The best version of me is not what you're trying to make happen.
Well, I just think you're very brave, and I commend you for doing that, for being brave enough to do that, because a lot of us, like I said, we talk ourselves out of things that we know we really want to do or that we should do. Here's an example. This past summer, I said, "Oh, I need a eat, pray, love kind of experience, right? I need to go somewhere that I've never been before, and just, kind of fend for myself, so to speak. In other words, not really know anybody, but do a by yourself kind of trip. Because at some point in our life, we just need to detach from everything that we know." And just get sometimes I would think it could help you with a whole new perspective. I didn't do it, so I don't really know, but this is in my head. I'm thinking these things like it would really help me to do, and I still say that. So I started saying that, thinking that this summer, right? And so at first I was trying to get somebody to go with me, but I'm like, doesn't that defeat the purpose? Like I asked the girl, "Girl, you want to come with me?" Because I need it. I said, I need to eat, pray, love. Not that she needed it, but I was saying, "You want to come with me because I need it." And then I thought about it, but that makes no sense, because this is for me. It's not for other people. It's something that I need to do for myself. And so I just gotta, and so since I've read your profile, I've been thinking about it more and thinking I really need to do something like that. If it's nothing but for a week, just see how it feels.
Yes, or even start smaller than that. Like, I'm going to take a long weekend and starting little baby steps. I was crazy, like 70 days around the world. I've never done anything by myself. What was I thinking? And I panicked. I really did have a panic attack the night before I was supposed to leave. And I thought, oh my God, you've lost your mind. You cannot do this. You cannot do it. I got on my laptop. I tried to see how much money I would lose if I canceled. I mean, this is the night before. I was like, no. I mean, just panic. Like, no. This, oh my God, no. I can't. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Like, what was I thinking? I can't do it. And so I poured myself a little shot of Jack Daniels, and I was like, okay,
Jack, right?
Okay, breathe and calm down. And all you need to do is get on the plane to Portugal, because that was the first country. Just get on the plane, and then once you get to Portugal, you can then cancel the rest of the stuff. But just get on the plane and get to Portugal. That's all you have to do. So I focused on that. And then obviously I didn't cancel the rest. But that was surreal. That was terror. That was
I can imagine. Yes. It's like, I guess what Les Brown says in one of his books, anything is a cinch. What does he say? Inch by inch, anything can be a cinch. So in other words, we take it inch by inch, step by step. Right.
Yes.
Right. And that's a good way to look at it. Break it down into pieces, the trip, and then you can do it. Yeah. Because it is big and scary, when it's like 71 days I'm gonna be gone and I don't know where I'm gonna stay. I mean, you had places that you're gonna stay, but you don't know. You
But
don't
I
know
didn't
how
know.
much
Yes.
is going to be there. There's a lot of scam artists on the internet. I'm sure all of that was,
Yes.
coming into
Yes.
your right,
And I
right.
look back like, I cannot even believe I did that. I don't even know if I would do that now for all of
Mm-hmm.
that, but I will do like one little trip. So like for my birthday, I'm heading to Dubai, and
Oh,
that's by
nice.
myself, and a couple of day trips. So I hit a couple of places in that area, and that seems not as scary, but I don't think I would. I'm sure now that I would not schedule my own, 7 countries going.
Uh-huh.
No, I might do a solo tour group. Like they have,
Uh-huh.
organized tours that are for
Right.
solos. So you're going by yourself, but you're with other solo people, and someone
Oh,
else
really?
is
I've
taking
never
care
heard
of
of
the thing.
those. Now
Mhm.
that may be where I need to start.
Yes, yes, yes. They have those, and
So
they have
who
some
does
just for
those? Is there a
women.
company?
So I follow, and in fact, we were doing a Zoom about a project, Solo Traveler magazine, um,
Oh.
and they're on Instagram. Yes, they're on Instagram, and they, I sign up. I get their emails, and I think it's every Tuesday. Anyway, I get and here are the latest deals, and for
Uh-huh.
solo travelers.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm like, oh, so I wanted to go. I had India on my itinerary, and then I got scared reading something like, so no, no, okay, no, take India
Right.
off. And I was also going to go to Australia because I
Ooh,
was right there in Indonesia. I should have done it. But I was like, no, let me make cut costs a little bit. So let's take that off. And it's a good thing I did because I would have been stranded there during COVID.
mm,
So this way I got home from Japan. But yes, they have a group. I might do this at some point. It's a tour for women to India, and it's for solo. So you're
mm,
with other people, and they do the hard stuff of accommodations and
mm,
itinerary and everything, and you just go. And I
right.
think that
Okay.
might be where I am at this phase now. Like,
Right.
I think I'll
Right.
do that. But Dubai, I'm doing I myself.
Hmm.
I Airbnb, my plane ticket, my itinerary, and that doesn't seem too scary. And
Hmm.
traveling from
And I
here is
love Airbnbs. I love. Now, I haven't done anything outside of the United States in an Airbnb, but I really do love an Airbnb. The places that I've gone, and everything has always been nice. Haven't had anything to be not what they said it was or whatever.
yes, yes,
Sometimes they could give a little bit more detail on some things, but other than that, yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
the
I
only thing
like
that I
it.
would, yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's so exciting. And now, if you were to tell women 50 plus, what would you say? Woman, give yourself permission to. How would you end that? A couple of different things.
To give yourself permission to be happy is really, to me, the root of all of it, and that looks different for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, we're so busy making other people happy that we don't really think about that. And so I think the first place to start is to
Mm-hmm.
give yourself permission to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that might entail changing the life you're living so you can live a life you love. Maybe, but maybe not. What is it? What is it that is going to make you happy, bring you joy? For me, learning new things and going to new places. Like this is what I want to do. Um, but that's it. And it sounds so simple
Yes,
and
it does.
easy, but it's not. It's not. Okay, yes, of course I have permission to be happy. I'm a human being. Everybody deserves to be happy, but there's so many things that get in the way of that. There's so many other priorities that we don't. And happy, you don't have to quit your job and go around the world and move overseas. There can be little things. One of my little things, I like bourbon. I like bourbon whiskey. I wanted to know how to make bourbon whiskey. And I thought about going to Kentucky and spending $6,000 for this 1 week bourbon workshop. I'm like, no. So I made up a midlife reimagined apprenticeship and pitched it to the CEO of a bourbon distillery in Cleveland. Now it's Cleveland, it's not Kentucky, but it's still bourbon.
It's still
And I reached out to him on LinkedIn. He responded. I sent him the PDF of what I was proposing. He called right back. We did a Zoom. He said, come in. And I did. And so I did a 12-week unpaid internship at this distillery. And I call it my Blackboard to Bourbon journey. And it was just something I was interested in. Blackboard to bourbon. I was the oldest person. So I was 61 and the only woman. And I had a ball. I just had a blast. Had a blast. It was so much fun. So much fun. And the guy's like, I'd like to hire you. I'm like, no, I'm not really trying to work. I just wanted to learn how to do it.
I'm just playing, people. Right.
I'm just playing. No. I love retirement. Retirement is not a bad word. People hear, there's this digital nomad thing. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You got a side hustle. I'm like, hustle is the opposite of retirement. I have not tried to hustle. I have hustled all my life. I'm done hustling. I'm not trying to hustle. I write this blog, The High Goddess. That was from a class. I was taking on a memoir, little things like I like to write. What's going to make me happy? I'll write more. So take these little classes. We're in lockdown anyway. Might as well do something and just take little classes. So you can do little things that bring you along that road toward your destination of happiness. And it's a journey. It's not a destination. So
Yeah. And you hope the journey lasts forever, not just a one-hit wonder, like, oh, this is my destination, I'm going here and this is it. I can't be happy anymore. No, that makes no sense.
Right.
We want this to be ongoing. Yes.
Ongoing. So just learning new things. I took the writing class. I got my digital marketing certification and realized I hate doing this. Never mind. I got it. In case something bad happens and I need to get a job, but I really don't like doing this. I'm a recovering social media avoider. I'm not on Facebook. I just don't. And I started Instagram so people would know I wasn't dead when I was traveling. My friends like, you need to do something so we can keep up with you.
Right.
I may be on there 2 times a week. I'm not trying to be anything that I don't want to be. I'm not trying to monetize anything. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't
That is
care
my
about
favorite word. I'm not trying to be well, here's how I say it. I'm not trying to be all things to all people. I'm trying to be for me. Whatever makes me happy is what I want to do. If it doesn't make me happy, I don't want to do it. Like people can you do something? No, I don't want to do that. And my friends at work, and I still work, right? So I'm a professor. And I'm working remotely, so wherever I'm at, I could be working, right? And so it's so funny because my colleagues would say, "Well, we want you to do that." I said, "No, I don't want to do that." But I don't want to do it, so I'm not doing it. And if I don't want to do it, guess what? I'm probably not going to give it my best effort because I don't want to do it.
Right. So you have given yourself permission to be happy.
Exactly. I'm giving myself permission to say no. And see, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I say a yes to my children, my husband, my family, my grandkids. I'm saying yes all the time. And when I say no, I feel some kind of way. And that's because I'm feeling guilty. And I know that. And so I said, I'm going to start doing some things for me. So that's why when I saw your profile, like I said, it really hit home. And I was like, yes, I've got to let other people hear what she has to say, because we need to learn how to give ourselves permission to do things we want to do.
Want to
And
do.
it's okay, people. There will be a tomorrow. Right?
There will be a tomorrow. There will be. I'm not going to say that it's easy, that there's not guilt involved, and
Yes, yes,
all of that is there.
yes.
But it's a journey. It's baby steps. It's baby
Mm-hmm,
steps, and
mm-hmm.
just keep stepping.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what are you doing right now to bring you joy? Other than living in Portugal, what are you doing while you're there? Taking classes, consulting? What are you
Yeah.
doing?
And I'm not doing any consulting, and people are like, "Oh, can you do that? Oh, and you can do, and you can make money." Like, no, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I really don't want to do that. But I launched the Hot Goddess blog, and the Hot Goddess, I was like, I told my girl, I said, this is not about the adventures of an old hoe. This is hot
You
as
are
in
crazy.
it's that's not what this is. This is the hot stands for hot flashes. Even because I still have them, and I'll be 64 in a couple of weeks, and I'm still having them. Like, what?
Right?
What? So it's about hot flashes. But that now as an
Sorry, that was
expat,
hilarious.
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
because people think, oh, hot. Yeah, I'm like, no, that's not what that is. That is about
Right.
hot flashes. It's not an old hoe trying to do a cougar mess. That's not what this is. Um, but that brings me joy, and I love it. And the blog was featured in Condé Nast Traveler on moving to Portugal.
Hmm.
And then it got a lot of attention, and just kind of, oh. So now it's all about Portugal, midlife reimagined.
Mm-hmm.
Is an over 60 solo expat in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's so much interest in moving here, there are a lot of people subscribing because they want to know. And then
Right.
they think, like, okay, this is like she's a consultant and emailing me and questions. So where can I and what, like, what? I don't know. I have shared everything I know. I have written out for you, and I do. It was monthly, and then it was bi-monthly midlife expat learning. Here's
Mm.
what I did. Here's with the visa. Here's what the taxes. Here's with healthcare. Here, and I
Oh,
spell out
okay.
everything I know. Everything I know. And I'm told it's very helpful, but things have changed just since I've been here. It's just a very volatile area,
Mm.
and things have changed. Agencies have changed. And I say that like, so this is all that I know, but I am not trying to monetize this. I'm not trying to become a consultant to, for expats, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to. My
Mm-hmm.
joy is just writing, sharing some of these stories, and I have a ball doing it. And I'm continuing to write, to work on the memoir.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just writing, and I do it on my own time. And people are stressing, oh, I need, I'm like, "Psh, if I feel like going outside and walking by the water instead of sitting down and writing, then that's what I'm going to do. The
Mm-hmm.
world's not going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
On your
do
own terms. On your own
on my
terms.
own
Yeah.
term, on my
Yeah.
own term. And so I write about 4 or 5 hours a day. And the blog takes a lot of time. I launched a um, diving into dating abroad series about dating for solo
Oh,
expat
nice.
women. And they're with guest posts. So just reaching out and connecting to other women who are
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
from 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond.
Mm.
And just tell their stories in a positive way, because dating can be a downer. And but there's some really positive stories out there. And again, it comes with, how are you feeling?
Right.
Where are you with yourself? Because if you're not happy and you haven't given priority to your happiness, you're not going to be a very good partner. So,
yeah. Well, nice. That's very nice. I wanted to ask, or I wanted to find out where some of your blogs. So just go to Hot Goddess, and I can connect with your blogs.
yes, at the link on Instagram in my bio page, the link is there.
Okay,
The
yeah.
link in my bio. Yes.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think the information I sent you in the paperwork that I had to fill out, I put the link there too, thehotgoddess.com.
Right. Okay, but I didn't see all the other blogs, so that's fascinating to me as well. But I will do my homework there and read some of that other content too about the diving into dating and all that. Because as grandmas, we don't talk much about that, but that is a fact that there are a lot of grandmas out there that are single and could
Yeah.
be dating pool, because there's a lot of single grandpas and then others. And the beauty of
Yeah.
it, where we are right now, I think, is that if you're 50, 60, you're open, you can be open to different age groups, as
Yeah.
well as, as long as people are single. You're not trying to date married people, but
Right.
as
Oh
long
my
as
God.
it's single, you
Except
can be open.
what is up? I have never, maybe I just didn't notice it in the United States, but there's a lot of what is it called? Ethical non-monogamy here. Like,
What does that mean?
what?
Explain that.
Thank you. That's some BS, if you
Right.
ask me. But the whole, you know, polyamory. So you're multiple. Oh
Um,
yes, I'm married, but we're into, we're not cheating. Like we are openly
okay.
involved with others.
Right. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, my mind is blown because
Right.
here, because there's so many. I find they're obviously Portuguese people, but there's so many people from all over the European Union because it's just you come and go, it's real easy. So there's people from all over here. They're also from former Portuguese colonies. So Angola, Mozambique, Cape Verde, Brazil, there's just there's a huge, a huge melting pot of people here. So in dating, like it's really not just Portuguese people, it's some of everybody.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, some of these European countries, like, y'all live. This one guy had reached out, oh yeah, hi. Yeah, I like your profile, da da da. I would love to meet. I'm not alone though. My wife and I, but I'm like, oh no, hell no. No, this is not.
Okay.
And these are midlife. These are over 50 people.
Wow.
And it's like so that kind of blew my mind. I never had seen that in the United States. But yeah, it's just a different vibe.
So this is very open in the United States. We keep things like that undercover, right?
Yes,
That's why we got
yes,
shows like Cheaters and all.
yes, exactly, exactly. I'm
But
like, I don't think so. So now, like, I
but
meet
there
somebody
it's
like,
open, huh? And the
well, there's
wife
also
or the
cheaters.
husband is in the know that you're out there dating.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. And every time I see this one person just had a picture of himself, but a lot of them will have couples. It'll be both of them. And the man is always looking happy as get out. And the woman is always like, mm-hmm. So I
Right.
like, she's not feeling it. It's like, yeah, no, that's
Right.
BS. That's BS. No.
So then that brings up another question for me, and we can cut this out of the podcast if you like. It
Yes.
doesn't matter to me. But so if you said something, you said the man is always happy, the woman is not in these pictures, right? So then now in America, most men 50 and up, they start having these testosterone kinds of
Yeah.
issues. Are you saying men in Portugal are not having those issues and they're smiling because they got multiple women and they can actually marry
No.
multiple women?
No, I'm saying that any man that has gotten his partner to sign off on
Uh-huh.
threesomes
Uh-huh.
is feeling pretty good. And it's always like the women, always an open relationship. Well, whose idea was that?
Right.
Who broached it to whom?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. And
Right.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of that. There's a lot of that. A lot of swingers. I
Mhm.
mean, that's nothing new. It
Right.
just,
Right.
to me, it just seems more prevalent on the online
Mm.
dating sites, or people
Oh,
are
wow.
more
See,
open.
I thought that would be against the rules in on online dating.
No, no.
Wow. See,
No.
I've never done online dating, but I would just assume that that's against the rules because
Mm-mm.
it just seemed like it would be against the rules. You know, you can
It
be
seems like it needs to be against some rules, but
right. You're an
it's a
online dater, but you're
true.
already married.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Oh yeah. And then that happens in the United States. Oh, I'm not
Really?
putting
Well,
other,
I guess if you
I'm
falsify
not
your
putting my picture out there because I
right, I
am
guess
not
if you
single.
falsify,
And
yeah.
they're cheating.
Okay,
So, I mean,
gotcha.
this universal. Men are men, and
Right,
women are women. It's universal. It's universal.
right, right. Well,
But
yeah,
they're
that's
very
interesting
interesting.
though. I had no idea that that kind of thing. I mean, I didn't even know that in the United States you could pretend that you're not single and still be on a dating site. I just assumed that they did their homework behind these things. But anyway, I guess not.
No.
Yeah, no, I guess not. But anyway, naive me, I had no idea.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah.
Yes. Well, it's
But this
more
is
than a
all very
notion.
interesting, though, Natalie. This is very interesting. Your life is not at all, it doesn't seem like you're bored at all. You're living your best life. And I love that for you because I think that we all deserve that, no matter where
We
we are
do.
in our life. Yeah, what stage we are, if we're 40, 50, 60, 100, we still
Yes.
deserve to live our best life.
Yes.
And so I love the
Absolutely.
fact that you're doing that. Yeah, that you're really doing that. So any plans to come back to the United States anytime soon?
Well, I have
To
gone back to
live or
visit.
just
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
just
So
to visit. Okay.
but not to move back.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And your son lives in the United States?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
He's there. As I said, he's single,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll be 30 in March.
Okay.
And my mother is there. And
Mm-hmm.
that initially I said, well, I'm not leaving as long as, mom needs me. She turned 91 in November, and she's living in our childhood home and
Mm.
refuses to leave.
Mm.
And my plan was that she would move, not here, but move into my house there before I sold it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I'll set up and mom will come here. And she just absolutely refused to do it. She said, no, I'm not. And
Mm.
so that was the hardest piece. Like, well, do I just keep my life then on hold and she doesn't want to change? So I did. I left, and family people aren't always supportive of that.
Of course
It's like
not.
you're the oldest, you're the
Yes.
firstborn, you're the daughter. Like what are you doing? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, but she has two other kids, so yeah, step up.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Sometimes I'm the oldest in my siblings too. There's six of us, right? And sometimes the expectation is, and I'm a female, so there's six of us. I'm the oldest, and then there's brothers, and then the youngest one is another girl.
Yes.
So there's expectations that the girls will take care of the parents and not
Yeah.
necessarily the boys. And
Yeah.
so you got to fight that. I had a cousin once, and it was so interesting because, and I always looked up to her. She was my big cousin, very beautiful, all of that, and just a really good cousin, and I always was under her wing all the time. She didn't want me there, but I was always there trying to figure out what she was doing and stuff. And she moved when she was like 56, I think it was, moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina,
Oh,
uprooted, and
yeah.
everybody was shocked. She had one child. Everybody was shocked. And I was over here like, you go, girl,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I think you got to have balls, to excuse my expression, to do something like that. And she lived near her aunt that raised her, cousins, everybody around. And when you live close like that, everybody's in your business. And she
Yeah.
just ignored it all moved and living her best life then. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be just like her because
Yeah,
I admired the that she was brave enough to do that,
yes,
because a lot of
yeah,
times, like we get caught up in what we think everybody else wants us to do, and then we don't take care of ourselves.
right.
So Natalie, I bow down to you, like Beyonce says, bow down. I
Oh
bow
my God.
for doing that because that is such a brave thing to do. And just I'm just so excited for you and happy for you that you're living your best life the way you want to do
Thank
it. So
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it. And you said your social media, you're on Instagram, Hot
Uh,
Goddess.
so
Okay.
I'm on Instagram at retired, rewired, inspired.
Yes, yes. I love that too.
And yes. And then the blog, the website is thehotgoddess.com.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you again so much.
Thank
And
you.
I would love to ask you if at some point I want to do some sessions for women to talk about, people like yourself, just to kind of share live, like a
Yeah.
live
Okay.
webinar. Would you be interested in doing something like that? Just talking to
Sure.
women and letting them ask questions and things like that? That'd be wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd
Thank
be
you very
happy to.
much for being
Thank you
willing to
so
share.
much. It's an
You're
honor.
welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was so much fun talking to you. And let me know if you want to do a solo trip to Portugal, since you got someplace
Yes.
to visit.
Yes, yes, that would be wonderful to see. And thank you for that invitation. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Now, don't be surprised if I knock on your door, I mean over the phone first,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. That's right. That's right.
Or email and say, oh, by the way, I'm thinking about coming there. When should I do it? When's the best
Yes,
time?
yes. No,
And I
I
like
wouldn't
to
have
go
said it
places
if I wasn't
when
if
when
I
it's
wasn't
cold
speaking.
here in the United States,
Yes,
because I'm in Virginia. When it's cold here, go somewhere else where it's nice and it doesn't have to be hot. I don't want it to be hot
it's
actually.
not,
I
and
just
it's
want it to
not.
be warm.
It's maybe in the 60s here,
Oh,
so
I
it's
love
not.
that.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's not hot. It's not. You're
mm,
not going to get a tropical
mm.
getaway, but it's maybe the 60s.
Yes, I love, love, love that. Thank you so much, Nat. I'm going to let you
Okay.
go. I really
All right.
appreciate it. This is the
All
2.0
right,
Grandma
Marcy.
signing off. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care of
Thank you.
yourself. Bye bye.
Thank you. You as well. Bye-bye.
Introducing a remarkable book, a tapestry of stories from atypical grandmas whose lives are a treasure trove of wisdom and inspiration. Stories of inspiration, life lessons, and wisdom from grandmas by Dr. Marsha McLean. This extraordinary book is now available on www.grandmas2.0.com and on Amazon.